Hello everyone, my name is Vicky Styles and the movie I'm here to present to you today is titled Anikulapo. Now before we get into details and spoilers for this movie, please subscribe to this channel, like this video after you're done and comment. Also share this video with your friends and click the bell notifications to get notified anytime I release a new video on this channel. I do a lot of movie discussions, movie reviews, movie talks. So for those of you who are interested in movie updates and you just want to get the latest on movies and what to watch, then this channel is the best for you. So please subscribe to this channel and click the bell notification beside the subscribe button. For those of you who are not from Nigeria, I think it's best if I start with telling you what the word means. Anikulapo is a Yoruba word meaning the man who has debt in his pouch, or you can say in his purse. So that's what the word means firstly. Now this movie is an epic fantasy, 2022 epic fantasy that I can't necessarily say that this movie is pre-colonial, because if you watch the movie, there were some talks about slave traders and from the white men and all that. There were some talks about that, so I can't necessarily say it is pre-colonial, but it is a little bit ancient, and I just don't think you'll be expect to see anything like telephones or all these modern day gadgets in that movie. The movie was directed by Kunle Afolayan and his production team, KAP Productions. It was distributed worldwide and is showcased on the Netflix platform. So for now the movie is doing great on that platform, and I think so far so good. A lot of good reviews have come for this movie. So the movie is in Yoruba language, not in English. So for those of you who are on Netflix, I think there will be a English version, maybe there will be a version with subtitles, and maybe Spanish version and all the other languages. Now the movie stars Kunle Remi as Saro, the main character, and Bimbo Ademoye as Queen Arolake, Sola Sobowale as Awarun, Mr. Macaroni as Akanji. Although there are a lot of good cast and good crew that put hands together to make this movie, but these are the few names that I can mention in this video for now, based on my own level of knowledge about these Yoruba names. And if you want to go find out more, I think you should either watch the movie yourself, or maybe you could just go online and search for their names. Now I'm going to start with the intro scenes of this movie. The entire thing is nice and it has good picture quality and good VFX design, especially of that mystical bird that brings Saro to life. So the intro scenes, the display of art while the narrator was talking, it was all good, and the intro scene is perfect for a start, a perfect way to give us a knowledge of how this movie comes about and how eventually he gets the powers to resurrect the dead. Also, the technical aspects of this movie in general from start to finish was amazing. I think they put in a lot of work in the cinematography, in the set design, in the props making, and they also put in a lot of effort in the costumes. There were also animals displayed in that movie, which I give them huge credit for, because hardly you see that in any Nollywood epic movie. So I give them huge credit for that, because whether I like it or not, animals were a big part of human savage life. So that's a good one for them. The interior designs were also nice. They had the privilege to design it at least a little bit to the extent that it would have been in those days. Then for the display of culture and the display of savage life, like molding clay into pots, and general savage life, like buying and selling and all that, it was very impressive, and I give them credit for that. Now in the story, I think for the start, Awarun was right to advise him to work with her, stay with her for a while, and eventually save some money that he can use to start a weaving business and all that. Saro came to the kingdom, just hoping to just find a weaver and join the person in business. But to me, I think that particular idea wouldn't have worked out, because I don't think any normal businessman would just allow a stranger, as in a stranger from another land, to just come in and start working with him. So I think she was generous enough to allow him work for her, at least for a start, so that he can pick up. Another thing that I noted from the movie is Wojuola's, I think, hatred for Arolake, because it's seen in various parts of the beginning of the movie that she seems to hate Arolake the most. Although there are some lines that were delivered and everybody says that she is the king's favorite, but I just feel confused why she's jealous, because if she's the king's favorite, then she should be the most favored. But maybe Arolake is still young, and that is probably the reason why he's so interested in her. And her jealousy even leads her to break that mirror later on in the movie that Arolake was asking for. So I think she was just, for no reason jealous, and I don't think any of her actions in that movie were necessary anyways. Also, I noted that Awarun was secretly having an affair with Saro, and this affair was kind of getting into Saro's head, and I don't know, maybe he was liking her or something, but I know she was liking him as a human being. But I don't just understand why he got jealous when her husband eventually came back and she was with her husband. Obviously, Arolake did not marry the king on her own accord, because when everybody shouts at her and talks bad about her in the palace, it seems that she herself, she agrees with them that she's not supposed to be there, and she has other things better to do with her time. So I think at first I thought that yes, she wasn't the one who made the agreement to marry the king, and it turned out to be true, because in one of her discussions with Saro, she revealed that she was betrothed to marry the king right from a young age. So that obviously was what I noted about the film. And again, Saro's weaving techniques in a part of the movie was to me amazing. It was fantastic to see how weavers could come up with such a technique even at that savage time. So and I obviously know that they did a lot of research on how weaving was done as at that time. So it was nice for them to make it, put it in drama form for us to watch. So like I said earlier, the movie isn't as pre-colonial as we thought. There were some talks about white slave traders coming to buy people and take them away and all that. So let's just go past that. I think the love at first sight, at first when I was watching the movie, I thought that the love at first sight between Saro and Arolake was definitely the beginning of their love. I never knew that the guy just turned out to be every lady's dream. I don't know who he had sex with in the dark, in the forest, but anyways, like I said, he just turned out to be every lady's dream all of a sudden in that palace. And that also reminds me about the potential nude scenes and sex scenes in that movie. I think if you are watching that movie with your family, you should take note of those areas. I think that should be from when he went to the palace, to deliver clothes, and till the part where he got killed. You should just take note of this part. But there are other sex scenes somewhere else, so you just don't need to watch this with your kids if you have kids anyways. And also watching his death was painful to watch. And seeing the blood gushing from his mouth and watching her cry, all that, his death was so painful to watch to me. Now, sorry for not saying this earlier, but I just wonder how Omaomi was watching Arolake sneaking out in the night, because before Saro died the first time, it seemed that she was noticing Arolake's movement. It seems like she was noticing it, and all of a sudden she just started crying. I still don't understand though, but I just think that she was spying on the woman. I just think, or maybe she must have sent somebody to spy on the woman. Now, Saro's resurrection, that particular scene was totally notch, and it wasn't what I expected, honestly. When I read some certain predictions about the movie, I actually thought that it was the bird that brought him back to life and kept him that way. But only for me to watch the movie and I saw that the bird did bring him to life, but the bird was actually going to kill him again. But this woman Arolake came and she had her way and chased the bird. So that was how Saro managed to stay alive for another certain number of years. Anyways, the display of mountains, waterfalls, rain, and even snakes in that movie, to me that was also very good and very necessary to make the film really come to life. Now, another notably generous person in this movie was the old man who saw them in the forest, like the hunter. He was very generous enough to me to welcome a bunch of strangers who look dirty, tattered, and all that. He just welcomed them, showed them how to cook food in his house and all that, and he even took them back to his village. So I think he is notably another generous person in this movie. Now, after Saro managed to bring the hunter's son back to life, it became obvious that the word Anikulapo seems more of a title than just in the name of somebody, because over the years we've heard Anikulapo as part of Fela Kuti's name, and it made me think that it was just a name, even though, but it seems like it's more of a, this movie makes me think it's more of a title than just a name. Now, it's very much annoying to see when chief priests or priests in general are getting jealous of somebody who just manages to have a power. And this could be seen in this movie, where the chief priest of this new community was obviously jealous of Anikulapo or Saro, because the man just manages to resurrect people from the dead, and obviously that's all he did. That's just all he did. Meanwhile, the chief priest has been there for years doing magic, probably causing the rain to fall and all that. and he just sees this guy who only knows how to resurrect people from the dead, and all of a sudden he's jealous. To me, it seems very annoying. And another thing I noticed is that Saro has this weakness for women. It was shown when he, forcefully forcefully slept with this maid. I don't know whether she was a maid or something like that. Now it is very sad to note that Arolake was just barren. At first I thought that maybe she was the one who just didn't want to have a child, and probably everybody thought that she was having womb problems and all that, but she was just barren, that's all. And that's her inability to give birth to children caused the once beautiful love to just go sour just like that. And as this love is now, it was a little bit bitter nowadays. He went to marry more women into the house, and it obviously caused her pain because many of those women were mocking her because of her childlessness, and they even went ahead to say that because of how childless she isn't going too well with anybody else in the society. So that actually caused her a lot of pain, and even Saro himself didn't see it from her side. He was just full of himself, and he forgot that she was the one who made that bird. Let me just say she was the one who let him live. Let me just say that she was the one who let him live. If not, that bird would have just made him go dead again. And well, he got the biggest embarrassment of his life in front of the king, after feeling big in front of the king and demanding for the daughter's hand in marriage. So he got the biggest embarrassment of his life, and obviously he got killed again. The mystical bird, came and found him lying dead, and this time I'm very sure that he's dead completely this time, because I don't think there's any other person to come and chase that bird away this time. Now I think what we should take from this movie is avoid pride, and also be faithful to those who that have your best interests at heart. I just think that you can't be so proud to the extent that you forget about the people who sacrificed a lot for you. You can't be proud to that extent. And I think that was what brought his downfall in life, because he forgot that the woman who he's neglecting, or the woman who everybody is mocking nowadays, was the one who kept him alive. And she's even the one who showed him the little power that he uses to raise people from the dead. So he forgot all that, and I think that was why she even poured the sand out of it. And even in the beginning too, he was becoming too proud, and he wanted to bite off more than he can chew. So I just think we should avoid pride in whatever thing we're doing in this life. So I gave the movie a complete 10 stars. And if you haven't watched the movie, I'm so sorry if you don't have any way of interpreting the Yoruba that they are speaking, but I think that there are some websites that will allow you have subtitles when you're watching it, or you can go to Netflix. I think there will be an English version of that movie and other languages. So in case you want to watch the movie but you don't you don't understand Yoruba, I think there will be some subtitles or some English versions and all that, so you can check it out from there instead, and not stress yourself with with not understanding the film. So thank you for watching this video, and leave a comment about the movie, how you feel about the movie, if you've watched it before, and if you've not watched it before, tell me what you are really expecting to see from this movie. Tell me how you feel about what you've heard from this movie. and share this video with your friends. Click the share button, and you can send it to any other social media possible. My links are all in the description below, both the links for my videos and my social links, so you can follow me anywhere necessary. And don't forget to stay subscribed to this channel by clicking the bell notification beside the subscribe button. If you leave a comment, I will definitely put the comment out in my next video. Speaking of which, here is this comment from my own auntie, and I really appreciate her for supporting this channel. So thank you for watching this video, and until I come your way next time, it's goodbye from me.